The eyes of Texas are on winning a national championship in the 2024 season. What is the most important game for the Texas Longhorns this fall? Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. We're brought to you by our friends over at RHOBACK. Guys, go to RHOBACK.com. Use promo code SECU for 20% off your first purchase. That's RHOBACK.com, promo code SECU to get 20% off today. The Texas Longhorns begin a new era of college football in the SEC this fall, but the goals, the expectations, the standards, they have not changed. After getting to the 4-team college football playoff a season ago and getting so close to an appearance in the national championship, make no mistake of what the expectations are this year. It's national title or bust for the Texas Longhorns entering year one in the SEC. And guys, as we take a look at Texas's 2024 slate and we talk most important game, the game that's going to go a long way in helping to determine and define what is success and whether or not Texas can reach their goals in this season. There's a number of different directions you can go here. And again, guys, I'm really excited for Texas. Steve Sarkisian, Quinn Ewers at quarterback. This roster is loaded with talent across the board. I think the hype is for real, and I think Texas will be for real in this 2024 season. But as you look at the schedule, and again, like I mentioned, number of different games you can pick here when you talk most important game. That game week 2 at Michigan. I know Michigan's not going to be what they were last year, right? But setting the tone in the big house in Ann Arbor, great opportunity there. Mississippi State's how you begin life in the SEC. There are worse ways to begin life in the SEC. Of course, guys, Red River speaks for itself, especially after you lost to Oklahoma last year. That game against Georgia, maybe the biggest game of the college football season, might be the most important game of the season for college football. One of those games that's going to help shape what the college football season is this year. You got that one in Austin, Florida coming to town at Arkansas, Kentucky. And then, of course, we get the rivalry back between Texas and Texas A&M, final game of the regular season in College Station. So again, guys, like I mentioned, there's a number of different directions you can go here. Here's what's interesting too, guys. You know, for Texas, the goal is national championship. I'm sure SEC title's on there somewhere as well. Winning the SEC title in year one, being in the league, what a message that would send, right? Because right now the question is, man, is Texas ready for the big bad SEC? They don't know what's coming. They're not playing a Big 12 schedule. There's no cupcakes on this schedule. This is unlike anything Texas has faced before. Can you imagine what the talking point will be if Texas comes in and they win the SEC in year one? But guys, with that being said, again, that's not really the ultimate goal anymore. Like, I think it's still a really big deal, but it's winning the national championship. So for Texas, it's about making the college football playoff. And like we mentioned, guys, you can lose a game or two. I think a double-digit win SEC team is going to be in the college football playoff. So for example, guys, that game against Georgia, you've got it on your home field. Going to be an electric atmosphere. Georgia's going to be one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in the country. You can lose to Georgia, and you're fine, right? I mean, you don't want to lose the game, but I'm saying, like, it's not going to hurt your college football playoff chances to lose to Georgia. There will be no shame in losing to Georgia. I went back and forth on this one, guys, most important game, because I think it's really, really easy to look at Red River. It's really easy to look at that game against Oklahoma. You lost this game last year. You never want to lose 2 in a row in Red River. You don't want to lose 1, much less 2 in a row, though. You don't want that rivalry to flip. It is so important, I think, for Steve Sarkisian and for Texas football to flip that rivalry back and to establish order, if you will, in that game and in that series. So you can make a case for that one against Oklahoma. That one, to me, guys, makes a lot of sense. You can make a case for the Georgia game. You can make a case for Michigan, guys, on the road, too, early on. Not an SEC game, but, I mean, if you were to trip up and lose that one somehow, I don't think you will. But if you were to trip up there, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, we got to reset expectations. Texas isn't what they thought they would be. Guys, my mind goes here. We talk most important game. I have a pretty good feeling Texas is going to get to the last month of the season with one loss or less. I do. I got a really good feeling. They're going to get to November. They're going to get to end of season, one loss or less. Could it be two? It would be Georgia, and who else would they lose to? Maybe at Arkansas is tricky. I mean, again, Red River's a possibility. Those are unlikely, but it's possible. But even if you get to this game with one loss, the finale against Texas A&M, guys, after years of this game not being played, Texas A&M, year one head coach in Mike Elko. Texas coming into the SEC, and they're not looking to take a back seat behind anyone. You know Kyle Field is going to be a madhouse. That probably, guys, I would venture to say, that's going to be the most electric atmosphere in college football we get all season long. And I think from the Texas perspective, it is so important going in that game. Like, here's the thing, guys. Even if you're sitting there at 10-1 going in that one, the last thing you want to do, there's so many different layers of this, but the last thing you want to do is limp into the college football playoff at 10-2 after losing to your arch rival. Like, the expectation for Texas is to win a national championship. If you're going to be a team that wins a national championship, you cannot lose to Gig 'em. You cannot lose to the 12th man in that season finale. You just can't do it. You got to be able to go into Kyle Field, weather the storm, and establish, hey, we're the big brother. Like, and I know that's the mentality Texas fans carry, but you got to do it on the field. You got to do it on the field. You know you're going to get Texas A&M's best shot. It's going to be, again, the most electric atmosphere in college football this season. And that's one folks have had circled on their calendars for a long, long time. Since it was announced 3 years ago that Texas and OU will be joining the league. That's been a game, guys. Man, I can't wait to see that rivalry game come back. Texas and Texas A&M. Can't wait to see that game come back. I mean, you can look at it from the college ball playoff perspective. You can look at it just from the rivalry perspective. You can look at it from the SEC hierarchy perspective, right? Texas wants to come in. Now they're in the SEC, right? You want to come in. You want to establish dominance over your rival. Hey, we're here, and we're better than you from the jump. We're better than you. There's no question about it. We're better than you. We're above you on the rungs of the ladder. There's no debate about it. And guys, I mean, here's the thing. Texas A&M might come in this game 9-2. I mean, listen, I'm not drinking all the Kool-Aid with them, but it's possible. They've got talent on that roster. Think about what this game could mean. Think about what this game could mean, guys. There could be college football playoff hopes on the line for this game, for Texas A&M. So you talk about getting their best shot, you absolutely will. So from the rivalry perspective, from the rivalry perspective, from the competing for a national championship perspective, this game against Texas A&M, there's so many layers to this thing of why it's such a big game. And so I know there's other big ones on the schedule. Oklahoma and Red River, Georgia, at Michigan. But guys, when I look at Texas's 2024 schedule, if you are going to reach your ultimate goal this year, which is winning a national championship, you've got to beat Texas A&M in the rivalry game. You got to be able to go into Kyle Field and beat the Aggies. What's setting up to be the most raucous environment in college football this season, Texas has to find a way. They must find a way if they're going to reach their goals. And that season finale, so many layers to it. College football playoff hopes, rivalry renewed, hatred on both sides. There's so much on the line in that ball game to close out the regular season. And in my opinion, it does serve as Texas's most important game of the 2024 season. So, guys, when you look at Texas's 2024 slate, do you agree with me or disagree? Do you agree it's Texas A&M? When you talk most important game, is it Oklahoma and Red River? Is it Georgia? Is it at Michigan? What would you deem as the most important game of Texas's 2024 season? Guys, that's going to do it all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, guys, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the other side.